The sound came first. Soft click, then the low hum of the equipment, my own breathing, shallow, in the pre-dawn stillness. I was halfway through my internship at Far Weather Research Station. Concrete buildings huddled against the coast. Wind never really slept there. Our job was simple. Monitor pressure, temperature, precipitation. The bird song, that was mine. An anthropological hobby tacked onto meteorology. I liked the silence out here, liked knowing I was the only one awake for miles. That Nightjar had been singing forever. Its call, that distinct chirr, on and on. A mechanical whirring, like an old engine about to seize up. I was trying to get a perfect sequence for my collection. The gear, top shelf stuff, picks up sounds you can't even hear. I sat there in the prefab hut, my fingers numb around a mug of tea. Lukewarm now, watching the levels on the recorder. Just me, the hum of the machines, and that damn Nightjar. It was around 3 a.m. when I did something stupid, something I'd never done before. I was tired, my mind wandering. I leaned forward, my lips almost touching the condenser microphone. "Hey," I whispered, the sound barely audible even to myself. "What's your story, huh?" I talked to the bird. Ridiculous. A flush of heat crept up my neck, no one to see it. The recorder clicked, capturing my voice in the dead air. I leaned back, shook my head at myself, just tired, making me sentimental. Then I heard it, not through the speaker, through the open window. The Nightjar answered. It wasn't its normal call, not the rhythmic chirr. This was different. A series of short, sharp notes, staccato, unnatural. It sounded like words, fractured, broken sounds strung together. My heart did a funny little skip. I leaned forward again, my ear closer to the speaker on the recorder. The playback confirmed it. The bird's voice had changed. It was mimicking my question. Twisted, warped, sounded like my voice, but not. Deeper. Slower. Each syllable stretched thin, like taffy pulled too far. A mockery, perfect, chilling imitation of my own question. Spoken by something that had no business knowing human speech. A cold knot formed in my stomach. Nightjars don't talk, they don't form words, they make sounds, sure. Mating calls, territorial warnings. But not this, not sentences, not questions. I fumbled with the controls, rewinding the recording. The bird's distorted voice played again. "What's your story, huh?" The pauses were wrong, the cadence all off. Like listening to a recording played at half speed, but with the pitch adjusted, just fundamentally wrong. I should have turned it off, should have closed the window and tried to sleep. But I didn't. Something compelled me. A mixture of fear and a perverse curiosity. "Who are you?" I asked, this time louder, directly at the microphone. Outside, in the dark, the Nightjar fell silent. For a full minute, there was nothing. Just the wind sighing against the corrugated metal walls of the hut. Then it started again. The same distorted cadence. The same stretched vowels. "Who are you?" The voice was clearer this time. More defined. It was unmistakably my own voice, but filtered through something alien. Something ancient. "Stop it," I whispered, my voice trembling. "Just stop." The bird ignored me. Its call just kept going. Endless, a loop of my own questions twisted back at me. "What's your story? Who are you? Stop it." It was stuck, like a broken record. Fear wasn't just in my head anymore. It sat heavy on my chest, cold. I tried to stand. My legs went jelly. I sank back into the chair, gripping the arm so hard my knuckles turned white. The recorder kept running. The Nightjar kept speaking. Its voice began to change subtly. It started adding new phrases, phrases I hadn't spoken. Alone, so alone, in the dark, the words were slurred, thick, like the speaker was struggling to form them. Listening. Always listening. Cold dread washed over me. How could it know? How could it know I was alone? How could it know about the dark? I scrambled for the power switch on the recorder. My fingers, slick with sweat, fumbled over the buttons. Finally, I managed to cut the recording. The silence that followed was absolute, deafening. The only sound was my own ragged breathing and the frantic pounding of my heart. I sat there, hours, staring at that dark window, waiting, hoping to see something, anything staring back. But nope, nothing, just blackness. Deep, inky blackness of the coast at night. Eventually, the sky began to lighten. The first pale fingers of dawn crept across the horizon, painting the sea in shades of gray and silver. The fear receded, replaced by a bone, deep exhaustion. What had I heard? A trick of the wind. A strange acoustic phenomenon? I tried to rationalize it. I was tired. I was stressed. I was hearing things, but I couldn't shake the feeling. I couldn't shake the sound of that voice. My voice, twisted and wrong. That night I didn't go out to record. I stayed inside, the door locked, the curtains drawn. I told myself it was just the wind, just fatigue. But as the darkness deepened, I found myself listening for the click of the recorder, listening for the hum of the equipment, listening for anything out of the ordinary. I didn't hear anything, until I did. A soft tap on the window. Not the wind, no. A deliberate, rhythmic tapping. Tap, tap, tap. I froze. Breath caught. It stopped. Then started again. Tap, tap. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. The tapping continued, a steady, patient rhythm. It sounded like fingers, like fingernails against the glass. Then I heard it, a voice. Not through the window, not through the recorder. It was inside my head, clear as day, distinct. Are you? Listening. I scrambled back from the window. My chair scraped against the concrete floor. The voice was gone, just the tapping. Tap, tap, tap outside, from the darkness. I stayed awake all night, my eyes fixed on the window, waiting for whatever was out there to show itself. But it didn't. Just the tapping. Just the voice in my head. The next morning I packed my things, told my supervisor I was leaving, quitting. He didn't get it. He said I was throwing away a great opportunity. Didn't matter. Had to get out. Had to leave the far weather research station. Had to leave that Nightjar behind. I drove away without looking back. The buildings shrank in my rearview mirror, becoming just another cluster of white specks on the gray coastline. I kept the radio off. The silence in the car was better than the alternative, better than the memory of that voice. But sometimes, when I'm alone in the dark, I hear it, a soft click, the hum of equipment, the sound of my own breathing, and then a question, warped, twisted, spoken by something that shouldn't be able to speak at all. Are you listening? And I know it's waiting for me to answer. For me to say the words that will let it in. Subscribe for more. The highway stretched ahead, a thin gray ribbon winding through this landscape that felt foreign now. Same pale, washed-out white sky as always. But now it felt different, menacing, heavy. Like a lid pressed down on everything. I kept checking the rearview mirror every few minutes, not expecting to see anything following me, nothing physical, just needed to confirm. The road behind was empty, empty of buildings, empty of the station, empty of it. 3 days driving. 3 days driving. That's what it took. Finally, a small coastal town in Maine. I rented this cabin, right on the edge of the woods, so isolated. Could hear the wind whispering through the pines all day, all night. Thought the distance would help. Thought the change of scenery would silence the voice. For a few days, it worked. Woke to gulls, not the hum. Breathing salt air, not recycled station air. Slept without nightmares, or so I told myself. But the dreams came back. Not nightmares, not exactly. More like replays. I'd be in the cabin warm under the covers. Suddenly, I'd be back in the far weather lab. Harsh fluorescent lights flickering overhead. The air would grow cold, impossibly cold. And there on the monitor that had shown the Nightjar's data, a face. Not the Nightjar's face. Something else. Pale. Featureless. Eyes like polished stone. It would open its mouth. I knew, without hearing a sound, what it was going to say. The same question. The one that woke me sweating. Heart hammering against my ribs. One evening I was making dinner. Heard a sound from the woods behind the cabin. A scrape. Not just a branch against bark. No, something deliberate. Like something heavy being dragged across the forest floor. I froze. The knife in my hand suddenly felt heavy. Dangerous. I listened hard. The wind sighed through the trees. A deer, maybe? A bear, possibly? But then the sound came again, closer this time, and with it, another sound, a rhythmic tapping, 3 quick taps, then a pause, 3 more. My blood ran cold. It was the same pattern, the exact same cadence. The one the Nightjar had used. I didn't go outside, didn't even look out the window, just stood there in the kitchen, back pressed against the counter, forcing myself to breathe. It wasn't a bear. Bears didn't tap like that. didn't communicate in patterns that echoed through your skull. This was something else, something that had followed me, something that had learned. That night, sleep wouldn't come. I sat in the armchair by the window, curtains pulled back, watching the dark beyond the glass. At first, nothing. Just the usual night sounds from the forest. Then, a shape moved at the edge of the property line. Not an animal. Too tall. Too still. It stood there, felt like forever, a silhouette against the faint starlight, and then it raised a hand. Not exactly a hand. A limb, something ending in 3 long, thin fingers. It tapped them against a pine trunk. 3 taps, a pause, 3 more. The sound came through the glass, muted, but unmistakable. I wanted to run, start the car and drive. Drive until my engine just died. Frozen, paralyzed. By some damn instinct I couldn't name. That thing outside? Didn't move. Just stood there. Watching, waiting, and I knew with certainty that chilled me to the bone. It wasn't going away. It was here because of me, because of the Nightjar, because of the answer I'd almost given. The next morning, sun rose over the trees. The silhouette was gone, but the feeling stayed, that sense of being watched, the weight of that unanswered question. I tried telling myself it was all in my head, just stress, exhaustion, isolation. But I couldn't shake the certainty. Something followed me from far weather station. Something attached itself to me. And it was waiting, patiently, for me to break, for me to give it what it wanted. Cabin silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It was a presence, a pressure. And in that silence I could almost hear the voice again, a whisper, soft and sibilant, threading its way into my thoughts. Are you listening? I didn't answer, not defiance, pure terror. The voice in my head wasn't the one from the recording, thinner, sharper. Like a needle sliding through my thoughts, I shot up from my chair. Metal scraped against the floor. That sound echoed in the dead quiet room. The silence pressed back, thick, suffocating. I had to get out, had to see the sun, had to feel real air on my skin. I threw open the cabin door, stumbling out onto the small porch. The morning air was crisp, sharp enough to make my eyes water. The forest around me was alive with the sounds of birds. Normal birds, sparrows, finches, a woodpecker somewhere in the distance. It was so mundane, so ordinary, that it felt like a slap in the face. My heart was still hammering against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in my own ears. I leaned against the rough-hewn wood of the railing, trying to catch my breath, and then I saw it, or maybe I didn't see it. Felt it first. A shift in the light behind the trees. Not a shape this time, but a distortion, like heat haze on pavement. Except the air was cold. It flickered there. Just a second. Long enough for the hairs on my arms to rise straight up. Then nothing. Rubbed my eyes. Told myself it was nothing. Just light playing tricks. My mind messing with me after last night. That's all. But the whisper followed me back inside. It was quieter now. A mere background hum, but it was there. Beneath the rustle of pages in my notebook. Beneath the creak of the floorboards. I tried to work. I tried to organize my research, to make sense of the data I'd collected, but my focus was shattered. Every shadow in the room seemed to deepen. Every creak of the old house sounded like a footstep. I found myself glancing at the window every few seconds, half expecting to see that distortion again. The day bled into afternoon and then into evening. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in streaks of orange and purple. I didn't turn on the lights. I wanted to stay in the dimness, in the shadows. It felt safer somehow, less exposed. I sat in my chair, not reading, not thinking, just waiting. The silence had changed again. It was no longer just empty, it was listening. I could feel it, a focused attention that made my skin crawl. Are you scared now? The voice was clearer this time. Closer, not in my thoughts, but right there in the room with me. I didn't dare move. My breath hitched in my throat. I squeezed my eyes shut, trying to make it go away, trying to convince myself it was just exhaustion. Then I heard it. A sound I'd heard 1,000 times before, but now it filled me with absolute dread. The flutter of wings. Not the frantic, panicked beat of a bird hitting a window. It was slow, deliberate, coming from the corner of the room near the ceiling. Slowly, painfully slowly, I tilted my head up. There, perched on the exposed beam above me, was a nightjar. It was the same one from the recording, I was sure of it. The same odd, mottled brown and gray feathers. The same large, unblinking eyes. Only now its head was cocked to one side, studying me. The silence stretched, taut and thin. And from the bird's beak, a single, perfect note echoed in the stillness. Not a call, not a song. It was a question, and that's when it hit me. Far Weather Station wasn't just a research post. It was a cage, and I just let something out.